Alright, welcome back to the channel. I think we got something here that you'll be interested today we're working on. We got a really cool 69 Firebird. It's a pretty bare bones unit here, but it's got some really neat factory power options here. This is what you'd call a 350 HO car. HO stands for hang on, right? Is that what you tell your passenger when you're driving this thing? But anyway, we have a pretty nice example here of a really clean, definitely not from Minnesota. The paint is not fabulous on it, but the body has retained all its original panels, and I mean it's clean as a whistle underneath. Never had a speck of rust. And what's really neat, what I like about this car is it's 350 HO. It's got all the heavy duty radiator, 4-barrel carburetor, number 48 heads, long branch exhaust manifolds. Or look at how far those things reach down. I mean that was a really neat option on Pontiac engines. Long branch exhaust manifolds and 48 heads. Those are about the best. Well, they're really good heads for a Pontiac engine. I think they were only available in 69. I'm not really sure. I'm not a big Pontiac guru, but what else is really neat about it is it has this, they call this a Dearborn 3-speed. They came in a lot of Tempests and GTOs and stuff too. It's made by Ford Motor Company. Yep, it's a Firebird with a factory Ford transmission in it, and they are indestructible. I mean, I think they must have straight cut gears in first and second because they are a little noisy, but really, really tough 3-speed transmission. This car is so original. It's really neat. But anyway, the owner of this car is a drag racing buddy of mine. He bought this car basically to just take it out and have fun at the pure stock drags. And I went down and helped him degree the cam in this engine. This engine is fresh as of last winter, and put it on the dyno. I don't think he wants me to say what it dynoed, but because it retains all its factory. The cam is a little bit different than what it came with, but other than that, it's all factory. Everything is legitimate in this engine. You got the X, I don't know what it is, X something code there, and I don't know if you can see the 4 and the 8 kind of burned up a little bit, but those are super good factory heads. And basically everything's just been freshened up and nothing's been monkeyed with too much. But what happened was he dynoed this when he got done, and stuck it in the car. He was really happy with it, the numbers it put up, and he only put about 100 miles on it, and a big white puff of smoke come out, and basically he thinks he blew a head gasket. And I've been racking my brain trying to figure out why that would happen, and the only thing I can figure is these things, they had like 10-5-to-1 compression with iron heads from the factory, and today's fuel is just not that great. I'm thinking detonation maybe caused this. We're going to investigate here. I'll bring you on in, and we're going to pull some plugs, and we're going to kind of figure out what's going on here. But the coolant is only about half full right now, and he said when he starts it, all kinds of immediately it shoots out of the radiator cap. So I mean, obviously we got a problem. And the detonation is really the only thing that I could think. So when we're done here, my plan is I'm going to put some really good stainless steel multi-layer head gaskets in it, and replace these Falco ones that he used. And then we're gonna address this distributor here, because I'm thinking that he's got too much advance coming in. We're gonna put the dial back timing light on it, and when we're all done, we're going to see, you know, where the timing's coming in at, because everything's hooked up. I mean, it's all factory. We got vacuum advance, we got mechanical advance, we got everything going on. We need to know how much timing's in it and when it's coming in. How many RPMs is that advance coming in at? And then we're going to probably have to do a trial and error and see, you know, where, go out and lug it with that 3-speed a little bit and see where it pings at and how much timing we can put in it where it's happy. You know, if it's pinging, we need to back it off a hair and get it to where it's not detonating, and figure out just how much timing we can put in it. And then we're going to do some modifications on that distributor to keep it happy. Starting easy, lugging nice, running on pump gas, because nobody wants to buy $15 a gallon fuel for their street car, you know. So we're gonna make this engine make power on pump gas and keep the dang head gaskets in it this time. Hopefully he didn't wreck anything else, but he's a good friend of mine. He's got a bad back and he's tired of bending over this thing, so we're gonna do a little investigating here first, see if we can figure out which cylinder is what's going on for sure, and then we're gonna yank the heads off from this thing and have them checked, and it's gonna be fun. So that's the plan for this weekend. 69 Firebird 350 HO Dearborn transmission, 3-speed. I wonder what rear end gears are in it. I might have to crawl under there and check that, but it's a really cool car. Okay, I got the pump on there and it's losing pressure, but we have kind of a leak down there on that bottom clamp on the radiator hose. Have to tighten that up and see if we can get it to hold pressure. See all that coolant coming from around that hose. You know, he's got the correct radiator clamps on there, and that thing is bottomed out as tight as it'll go, and she's still leaking like a sieve around there. It's really not dropping pressure that fast. I mean, I've got more pressure in it than it would ever have under normal operating conditions. I pulled the plugs out of it. Definitely running richer than Bill Gates. Not really what I expected to see if it were a timing issue. The funny part is, he said something about he was going to bring me fatter jets to put in it because he said on the dyno it was running lean. This number 4 cylinder, I mean, you can actually even see something down in there even. See that liquid when I shake it around? I don't know. I tried to take a match to it and it's not flammable. I don't know what that is. If that's number 2 is our culprit, but why is it holding pressure so nicely then? Yeah, I hate these little short 1/2-inch reach factory style plugs, but what do? You know what I mean? That's the way they came, and they were all, I almost had to have a breaker bar to get them loose. I don't know what kind of muscle man tightened them damn things in there, but we got nothing obvious here as far as the cooling system being a problem. The firing order is the same as Chevrolet. You know, you got 2, 4, 6, 8 on this side and 1, 3, 5, 7 on the driver's side. The only difference on a Pontiac is the rotor spins backwards compared to a Chevrolet. It spins counterclockwise. So it's a real simple deal. I got her on top dead center down there, and the rotor is pointing not at number 1. We'll fix that. But yeah, I'm going to tighten up this clamp and see if I can get it to hold pressure for a longer period of time, and then or I'm going to change that clamp, I think. Put something on there that'll seal it up, and then I don't know what to, we're kind of struggling here to figure this out, calling the detectives. All right, I got that leak fixed down there, and it's still losing a little pressure. I started out at 17 pounds, and it's already down to whatever that is. And I don't see any other visible external leaks. You know, I'm not really sure about it, but I think it was, I don't know how to identify what that liquid is on there. I mean, it's wetter than wet, and it's cleaner than the other ones, you know. The other ones are just soot. And this one's nice and kind of, it looks different than the other ones, so I'm going to call it cylinder number 4. See how sooty all those are? We got that one's kind of washed, you know. I'm going to call it number 4. And over here, kind of got the same thing on, it'd be number 5. We got soot, and we got that wetness there on that one. And it's kind of clean on that one side, so that's possible that one, because this one's dry and sooty too, you know. If anything, a little oil, and I don't know, that's all fuel, I think. But these two are a little different. See that clean area on the ring there? And it's wet again. It's not drying out like the other ones. And this engine, like I say, with these iron original head, it should really have a quality set of head gaskets, something really heavy duty in it anyway. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and tear the heads off. More to come. All right, I had an idea to diagnose the problem. Might have been a bad idea, but I put these pieces of cardboard in front of the cylinder, and then I attempted to spin over the engine, and oh my goodness, yep. Oh, I hope he didn't hydrolock this thing. I mean, it ran. He drove it in here. I didn't want him to, but wow. Cylinder number 4 just jetted coolant out of it. And, you know, she was full. And it just shot it out. And, I mean, it bounced off that cardboard and shot up to the ceiling. I mean, oh my goodness. This side looks bad too. Looks like number 5, doesn't it? Oh man. Well, there's proof right there. We got some major leakage going on. Let's jerk these heads off here and dry this up and see what's going on. Hopefully it's just the gaskets, but I'm gonna have the head checked too, I think. Both of them. See what's going on here. All right, the heads are off. I don't really see any obvious, I'm gonna clean this all up here with the razor blade. It's really hard to tell on the gasket, you know what I mean, what damage was done tearing it apart, you know, taking the heads off, and what damage was done, you know, if it had any previous damage before that, you know. These little areas here were, you know, kind of torn up, and that might have just happened when I just pulled it apart. I'm not sure, but I don't see any obvious signs of, it's definitely not detonation. It's definitely, you know, they were torqued down very tight. I mean, they were torqued correct. The gaskets really don't look that bad. There's no obvious signs of major, you know, that, like I say, that softness, I'm not really sure. This area around these are so soft. I don't know if that just deteriorated. These gaskets came from Butler Performance. They're called Best gaskets, and they're kind of cheap, in my opinion. We're gonna put some stainless ones on there now, but yeah, I'm not really sure. I'm still not sure, but those cylinders were full, and I mean, you can see there's number 5 right there, the suspicious one. I mean, look at how shiny that intake valve is. That definitely had water getting into that cylinder from somewhere. So I'm going to send these heads up and have them pressure tested just to make sure, you know what I mean. He put, everybody does, they put a lot of trust in your cylinder head guy, and geez, they're fresh out of the machine shop. He should be able to trust these heads, but I'm going to send them up and have them trued up and pressure tested anyway, because it just, I'm going to clean this up with a razor here and see if I can see anything wrong with, you know, everything looks wonderful, but here we are, you know, we're going to go through the motions. It really didn't take long. Pontiacs, they're so simple. It's a cool engine, really. So that's where we're at. We're not really sure still to this point. I was gonna say too, I was gonna mention another possibility that it could be, you know, it's definitely not a timing issue. It's definitely something failed here, but what it could be, I'm not familiar with Pontiac heads. I'm not a Pontiac guy, so I don't know much. But I know on some of the big block Chevys on the OEM cast heads, the valve guides, some of them would go through the water jackets on the exhaust, and that is a big no-no on a big block Chevy to try to replace the valve guides on the exhaust side. Usually you put a K-liner in them or something instead to avoid it. There's a possibility, I don't know if Pontiac heads are made that way, if the valve guides go through the water jackets, but that could be a possibility too. We could have the valve guides leaking through, you know what I mean? And then, you know, that kind of makes sense, because when you shut it off, well, any leak, when you shut it off, it'd fill the cylinder. There'd be a little pressure left in the system, and it'll go into wherever it's leaking. So we'll figure it out. Well, I just got word from the owner of this car, buddy. He told me it's actually, it is now no longer 350 HO. It is now 400 HO clone. So, yep, you heard that right. We're no longer pissing with the pups. We're running with the big dogs now. 400 cubic inches of tin Indian goodness. Pump jack power. Ceiling blasting. If you need your ceilings cleaned in your shop, we got the engine for you right here. I can't believe that happened. But you seen it. I mean, you were here, right? Well, you kind of seen it. It's like, you know, I had that pump on there, and it started at 17 pounds, and it went down to 10, and it was kind of holding at 10. And before I tore this thing apart, I wanted to be darn sure that we had a coolant into the engine problem, you know? So it's like, okay, it's holding at 10 pounds. And then, you know, okay, I got the idea to spin over the engine with the spark plugs out. And I thought we'd get a little mist, you know, out of the spark plug holes, you know? That's what the cardboard was for. I put the cardboard by the spark plug holes, and that's what the cardboard was for. I got a customer, hang on. So anyway, that's what the plan was. A good plan, right? We were gonna get some little indication, you know, a little mist out of them spark plug holes, you know, to tell me whether it actually had coolant in there or not, right? Well, I just touched that key. I mean, I didn't even whirl it. I just touched the key, and wham! We suddenly had antifreeze on the windshield all over the engine compartment. And then I get out and I'm like, I can't believe it. And something's dripping on my head. We got coolant on the ceiling of the shop. I mean, that was an adventure. You know, it could only happen here at the old backwoods speed shop. You know, that's how we roll. But that, yeah, we definitely, Houston, we had a problem there. We definitely had a good amount of coolant in the cylinders, which I cannot believe the thing even ran without hydro-locking. I mean, how did that not do damage? I've seen rods bend. I've seen, you know, on the old V6s at 2.8 GMs and stuff, I've seen them crack blocks. You know what I mean? When the cylinders that don't have coolant start firing and you start that engine, the ones with the coolant, you know, I mean, you can really do some damage doing that. And he drove it in here. He's like, no, it's fine. You know, that was why I didn't think we had that severe of a problem, but we diagnosed it, that's for sure. But anyway, I took those cylinder heads in this morning to the machine shop, and they said a couple days, and that's machine shop talk. You know, let me speak machine shop language to you a little bit. When they say 2 or 3 days or 1 or 2 days, that usually means a week and a half, you know. When they say like $100, it usually means 300-400, you know, by the time that's machine shop talk, and that's at a good machine shop. I mean, I've had cylinder heads and engine blocks that I forgot I even had because they spend so much time, years at machine shops, you know what I mean? If you get machinists like that, it's time to lose that guy's phone number, I think, you know. And I have in the past. You know, it's time to, you know, of course, after you get your parts back from them, you know, it's time to kind of, you know, tell them, hey, this arrangement's not working out. But that's machine shops, and it's in this high performance world, especially with these old 55-year-old and 50-year-old parts, you know, you're gonna run into some finicky people, and it's gonna take some time usually, and a lot of cash. So anyway, we got those heads out, and hopefully we'll get them back, and we'll pick up this operation here when I get the heads. We will resume this operation, and then we'll fire this mother up. And then H.O. Pontiac H.O. Firebird, hold on, you know. That's it. Maybe we'll take her for a little rip and run her through the gears, and I'm gonna have to dump the oil. The plan is to just pull the plug on it now and let it sit for that week or whatever when the heads are getting done, and then we will get it up to temp with the new oil and filter, and then we'll dump that right away, and we'll put more in. We got to get this milkiness out of it, because when I took off the valley pan, oh my god, yeah, the dipstick looked nice. It didn't look that bad. But it's bad that everything, the oil's all milky, and there's another thing that could have blew it up, you know what I mean? I know he only went about 4 miles after this happened, and you know what I mean? He knows what he's doing, you know, but we didn't think it was as severe as it is. And I never really did find the smoking gun. That's what scares me. That's why the heads are at the shop. But get some good gaskets in it and make sure the heads are good, and that's about all we can do, right? We'll resume this operation when I get the heads back.